The next bit of controversy we'll talk about after the break.
Nice tease.
We'll show you how ridiculous regular radio has become. We love being back on regular radio. I'm not going to lie to you, but it's so ridiculous.
But there are certain aspects of it that are a bit frustrating.
Everyone is talking about this Kramer thing today. Everybody.
Yep.
Everybody.
The Daily News has KKK Kramer.
KK Kramer, right?
Yeah, it's KKK Kramer.
Right.
like he's in the Klan.
But the company we work for, we're not allowed to say the N-word over here.
Yeah, they're very...
Has nothing to do with the FCC, by the way.
Very, very nervous about that word being used in any context, even if it's to report a story that everybody's talking about. It's not used as a hateful speech. It's reporting what was said, what everyone knows. Everyone knows the word that was used. Everyone knows everything. But, in order to play the clip and then maybe do a little comedy, a little fun with it, taboo.
And the thing that's annoying is I guarantee you black hosts, and again, we've talked about not being allowed to say the N-word. Most times you don't need it, but in this case, it's legitimate to really need it to,
you really need it to make the impact of the story.
N-word.
Yeah.
And it's a real thing, and it really happened, and if it was a black host, they would allow it. This is purely a corporate thing, and it's not the FCC.
Yeah, I got a message to Joel Hollander. You got to push back with these lawyers. You got to push back with these lawyers, or the business is gonna be ruined.
Yeah.
Your own lawyers are effing up talk radio.
They're dooming
You
it.
want a show like ours that are going to talk about the topics of the day. This is one of the biggest stories. It's the lead story on all the morning shows this morning. It almost made the front page of the New York papers. It's on page 3. You got to push back with the lawyers. I'm telling you.
Don't worry, we're not doing stuff that the FCC is going to swoop in and fine and take away license for. It's not anything about that. It's your own lawyers that have just castrated talk radio.
And you've allowed it.
Yeah.
And believe me, if it was Kike or if it was any other Dago, WAP, anything else, Mick, you'd allow us to talk about it and do anything. But because it's nigger, we can't say it because that's terrible. Guaranteed, it's gone.
Yes. Yeah, they just dumped out of you.
Of course they did.
Joel, you got to wake up, man. I'm telling you, there's all sorts of competition out there, and you want a talk show that's going to talk about the issues of the day. Here's a huge story. And your top show, we can't use the word.
Yeah, not allowed.
You know how ridiculous that is?
We have to report it like Good Morning America. Why would you listen to this show when you can go to Good Morning America and here's the same stupid coverage?
Yeah, and they give it a little disclaimer. What you might be hearing,
right?
What you hear might offend you. The language in the next segment might offend some people, so please, and then they can play it.
Satellite radio is creeping up, and there's a reason for it. Later on this morning, we're going to do the same exact story, and trust me, we're going to have no rules. We're going to have no rules over there.
I bet that got dumped, too.
We're going to have no corporate rules.
Yeah, it's happened before.
Huh?
Are you kidding?
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding.
They would dump that if we said that?
They better.
Yeah, I bet they'd.
They better not. It's a message. They got to get the message. It's a huge story. We should be allowed to talk about. And then we got some kind of rules where, like, if Patrice is in studio, because he's black, he could say maybe once, maybe twice.
Yeah, it's a weird double standard based on nothing but lawyers in a room somewhere.
The advertisers are not going to leave.
Huh?
The advertisers are not going to leave.
Not under that circumstance.
No.
It's not under...
It's not like we're going on the show today and we just feel like saying the word over and over again.
Yeah.
And doing, maybe just, off-color jokes about it or something.
Yeah.
We're discussing it.
Discussing a huge story.
Or if you're saying it in anger, like if a caller calls up and you fire it at him angrily, that's different. It's a different intent, and everybody knows it's different.
All right, well,
that's what the lawyers are. You're just garbage.
Yeah, it's like
garbage.
They take one circumstance that might come up, like Jimmy just said. Some guy calls up and you get pissed at him and you just throw the word out, which we wouldn't do, would not do. But the lawyers see that and say, all right, since that might happen, ban the word from ever being used in any context. And it's like, oh, come on already.
Which, by the way, gives the word so much more power.
Yeah.
Why are you powering these words? They're just words in the end.
I don't even care what we talk about it over here. We'd be able to be funny with it on XM. Some things you can't do on terrestrial.
All right, why don't we'll take a break. We'll get into it. Kramer did apologize on Letterman last night. Anthony stayed up and watched.
Yeah, very, very tired today. I could not resist watching. And, oh, my God, it was uncomfortable.
All right, we'll get into the whole controversy next.
And by the way, I bet you that they'll say N-word on TV. I bet you that they will.
They will.
They're bleeping it. They won't even write it. I'm watching TV right now. He's an N star 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 star. Star, 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 star.
Star, 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 star. Wait.
He's a navigator.
Star, 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 star.
N star, double G star star.
No.
Guesses.
No.
No.
You
And
can't do that.
There was a murder committed in
We're back with the Opie and Anthony show. 10 days and counting. Eggnog drinking contest. 3.
10 days.
10 days and counting.
Wow.
Week from Friday, Anthony. Our phone number, 1-866-313-FREE. We're fired up this morning. Fired up! This Kramer thing is getting out of hand.
Well, it's very hard to report. But, yeah, the TV news stations are using transcripts, and then, like Jimmy saw before, it says N star 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 star. Did I get the right amount of stars? One more. And we got to use the N word.
Star.
Got to say the N word.
You know what?
We were saying, could we go to maybe the N-I word? Can you say the N-I word? Just so no one confuses it with, like, navigator or, something like that.
Yeah, everyone else says the N word. We're going to say the N-I word.
The N-I word. That way, at least you got a little more knowledge there, a little more input, and you might actually know what we're talking about.
Can you say the N-I-G ... word?
No, I bet.
Why not? That could be night. Could be Nightcrawler.
It could.
In some cases, it is.
I don't think Kramer was yelling at a guy in a suit of armor, though.
He wasn't yelling at a worm. Trying to do some fishing.
So, where do we begin with this? Everyone knows the story by now.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Richards there hasn't done much since Seinfeld. Season 7, by the way, available on DVD, just in time for the holiday.
Just in time for all this hoopla.
I got a thought about this. Jerry told Kramer to create some controversy to help the sales of the Season 7 DVD.
You read message boards and blogs. There are people that actually believe that this is all a staged thing between, the Seinfeld cast to sell more of the just-released Season 7 DVDs.
Well, what happened is the Seinfeld cast was going to fake a plane crash into the Pentagon, and when they couldn't pull that off, they decided to do this because you have to get some kind of a buzz going. These idiots out there. They just want something to be happening beyond what they can see.
Kramer, call people.
Who are these?
And Elaine, you go after the and I'm going to go after the and Kramer, go after the We've got to boost sales of the DVDs. Got to boost sales. How did Season 6 sell? Go after the
I like to trail off.
Well,
making the bit.
Trying.
Let's say hi to Tony in Pennsylvania. Tony, what's up?
Hey, boys, what's going on?
Hey, Tony.
Hey, I saw that video last night. I just wanted to ask Jim, being that he's the comic, what happened on stage there? Was he trying for a joke and he got flustered? What do you think happened?
I don't know. First of all, every comic has wanted to yell that at an audience member at one point.
Oh.
It's the most hurtful, awful thing you can do.
Yeah.
If it's a woman, you want to drop the C-bomb. No matter what's going on as a comedian, there are times where you just want to hurt an audience member. And I worked the Laugh Factory in L.A. It's
a tough room, Jimmy, huh?
It's the type of room you can murder in. You can really kill. It's built to destroy in. It's a good club to perform in, but the crowds don't typically like me.
You got to explain, though, it has a balcony, which is very rare for a comedy club.
You have the audience in front of you, and then there's a balcony up, and you can see Richards was looking up to the left and yelling into the balcony. I believe that's where the heckler was.
It just seemed like he had nothing.
Well, I don't know what was going on, though. What was the guy yelling? Was the guy saying the N-word himself? There were black guys. The guy going, yo, man, this nigga ain't funny. I said it. Get dump it. There's nothing I can do about it. Or was the guy saying something like, yo, white boy, you're not funny? Was the guy being racial at all? Either against Michael Richards, or was the guy just being a douche and Richards snapped? I don't know.
Yeah, it seemed at first that Richards was trying to be profound with the whole "it's just a word, man" thing, but then it just turned into what seemed to be just yelling a racial epithet at somebody.
Did he use the word during his act, or when he got flustered and people started heckling him, and then that's how he fought back?
I don't know.
I don't know, because we don't know what the beginning of the tape was. But
well, we got to get Jamie on the phone. We got the owner of Laugh Factory calling the show today.
He also owns the Laugh Factory here in New York. I didn't know where it was at first. And I'm like, oh yeah, Michael Richards is in L.A. Jamie Masada, who was he was like kind of in the Michael Jackson case too. He introduced the kid to Michael. He did some weird thing.
Oof.
I don't know how Jamie gets that Laugh Factory sign up, but man, he's a marketing genius.
Hey, have you ever seen Michael Richards perform?
No, he was supposed to do it. I was doing the Improv one night. And he was supposed to come in, and for whatever reason, he canceled last minute. So I've never seen him on stage.
We'll get the owner of the
meeting. Did he have a meeting?
Yeah.
We'll get the owner of the Laugh Factory on at 7:30 today.
Okay,
Jamie.
good.
Jamie will be calling the show. Well, here, I mean, here's the actual set. It's only a couple minutes. We got 2 parts here. Yeah, it's gonna be bleeped to crap because lawyers know what makes good radio.
Yeah, they do.
Here we go.
Dane's home club, by the way. This is Dane Cook's home club in Los Angeles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Shut up! 50 years ago, you had you upside down with a f***ing fork up your...
Now, okay. All right. That's kind of funny.
Got a big laugh.
That at least is, it's completely outrageous, but the imagery and everything is ridiculous, and it got a laugh. So, you thought, okay, he's going to do some cutting-edge racial humor.
No. At this point, he wasn't doing it. He was just taking on the audience.
He got lucky with a good one.
He got lucky.
Yeah.
He got so pissed off, he went after the heckler, and he got a big laugh there. This was not part of his act.
That was a little more fuel.
This was him just fighting back, and then it just goes from here.
That was a little more fuel for the fire.
Let me tell you something. When you're on stage, every comic has wanted to do this. And I don't mean with blacks or Jews. You've wanted to just unload the most vile thing you possibly can.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate you got to grovel and apologize. It's only a moment in your life. It doesn't mean anything.
That's what it is to when you're pissed at somebody and you don't know them from a hole in the wall. You can't pick out something personal about them because you don't know them. You're pissed at an anonymous stranger on the street because of something, or in a club as a heckler, or in any situation where you don't know this person personally. What do you got to work with? You're looking at them. So all you have to work with is their looks, what they are, what they look like. So you dredge up the most hurtful thing you can find.
Right.
Hey, you fat bastard. Hey, you friggin' look at you, you cross-eyed son of a bitch. Like, you find the most hurtful thing, and that's what you use. With black people, it's the N-word. That's what you use. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I think there's a circuit breaker in your head that is supposed to trip and keep you from doing that. But it at least goes through the people's heads. I don't care who you are. If someone wrongs you, you're gonna pick whatever you can to hurt them the most, whether you say it or not. Yes. It's going to be in your head. The most liberal-thinking person, if they get almost killed by somebody that's black, it's at least going to pop. The word is going to pop in your head.
You're going to go for the jugular, basically.
Right, because that's human nature.
Yeah. Hey, this is coming in a lot. I don't know how true this is. Boys, a friend was at the show and said that the 2 black guys were heckling him. Kramer said something stupid, and they told him shut his cracker ass up. That's when Kramer started calling them the N-word.
Oh. He should have just, if that's the truth, if it was just, shut your cracker ass up.
C-word.
That's not a harsh enough thing to merit that response, to be honest with you. Because that was the first line, fine. But then they just keep going with it. So if that's all that happened, if it was one stupid line like that, it's like, come on, man, you got to know how to hit back.
Unfortunately for black people, they really don't have that atomic bomb of words to use.
Well, maybe they do.
With Whitey.
I almost stole a joke you've used.
Oh.
Maybe they do. I say this today. Let's have the black. Let's have some of the black listeners call up with the atom bomb for white people.
Let me correct that. Let's have the black listener call up.
The one black listener.
Yeah, where is he?
Yeah, someone waking him up because I'm sure he has another day off.
Because we've all heard them.
You should give out the number because some people might not be kind of casual listeners.
1-866-313-FREE. What is the atom bomb for white people? See, we don't care what you call us.
Son-in-law?
That's the difference. We don't care what you call us.
Yeah, we don't have any words that really are the big one.
It's hard when you've been dominant. I guess that's what it is. I mean, I'm not saying white people haven't kind of brought on themselves, themselves with me too, by abusing the word. It's not like it's an innocent word that white people are now victimized. We can't use it.
Sorry, geez, so sorry to be white. So sorry to know how to make a wrench and then turn it and make a wheel and make cars and build wonderful things for the world. Instead of putting tires full of gasoline around each other's necks and lighting it on fire, or hacking each other apart with a machete because you're of a different country.
Absolutely, or massacring 6 million Jews. Oh, bad.
Well, yeah. All right, there have been a couple of instances in history where Whitey's gone a little crazy.
Why do white people get blamed for everything? It's not like white people slaughtered the American Indians.
Did we really?
Oh, yeah, we did.
We were
the first terrorists.
Let me tell you something.
We were the first terrorists.
The American Indians were very much like Africa right now. Very territorial, very warlike, and they would beat the crap out of each other for a long time before we got here.
You're right, but the white people kind of came along with it.
We just gave the old express. The old express extinction.
The old slate cleaner.
Right.
Here's the difference, though.
Old Whitey was able to build a train that we could shoot out the windows of.
Here's the difference, though. They took care of each other, and they fought each other, but they continued to flourish.
Did they?
Absolutely.
And would they have?
We completely wiped them out.
Don't say we didn't do it.
The Travoy.
Stop. We completely wiped them out.
Invent wheels and stop dragging crap.
We did that.
I agree.
Ugh.
Before that,
stupid Travoy.
Who said white people invented the wheel, by the way? I don't know where that was.
I did. I have a mic in front of me, and I know it had to be some white guy that decided this rolls better.
Probably Africa or Asia. I hate to play devil's advocate, but the wheel has been around for a while, long before. I'd have to say.
I would say the cradle of civilization, Mesopotamia.
Nope.
Jersey.
Bigfoot.
Jersey. Bigfoot invented the wheel.
Bigfoot invented the wheel.
Doesn't have a wheel.
Bigfoot invented the wheel.
I will not even stand for that.
Bigfoot invented the wheel.
Then why isn't Bigfoot driving or riding on his wheel?
Because his feet are too big for the gas pedals.
That's right. He's hiding.
Can't fit in it. It's in the garage. The batteries won't charge.
He's hiding in the Pacific Northwest.
No, if Steve were in the Northwest, he'd be big dope.
And he understands how flawed we are.
Big arms.
So he decides to continue to hide.
But he's got a wheel.
But he has a wheel out there.
The Sasquatches are queer.
Yeah, I dare the S word to come after me.
Kick him right in his Yeti bag.
How many names do you need for this stupid thing?
Exactly.
Hairy beast.
I gotta agree with you, though. Yetis are queer.
Oh, they're the worst.
Bigfoot.
The Yeti.
The abominable snowman.
Isn't the Yeti the snow one? Yeah.
Well,
the white one.
Yeah, the white one.
Yeah.
Now, he probably has a wheel.
Just hangs out in the snow.
No, he has
not the Bigfoot.
No, he has a snowmobile.
That's how he's already up to snowmobile.
Yeah, he has to have the snowmobile.
That's good.
But Bigfoot.
Yeah.
It's all about Bigfoot.
You ever hear that... See it on YouTube, that Yeti just heckling or yelling. Hold on. Thank you. I'll just stop right there.
Why?
I had a thought in my head, but somewhere between my brain and my mouth, it got all tripped up.
It just went through a humor filter, and the humor stayed on top, and then it happens. Believe me, happens to me a lot.
I hope the humor is able to be recycled back into the system.
All right, why don't we continue? Here's
that was devoid of any.
Here's Michael Richards from the Laugh Factory in L.A.
Shut up! 50 years ago, they had you upside down with a fork up your. You can talk your brain now, but rolls out. He's not.
Oh my God.
Best part is that woman. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That is. I mean, look. As much as I want to hug him. For just being such a dick on stage, I mean, that really is a little... You can't...
Throw him out. He's up. He's up. He's up.
He forgot. Throw him out is what you say. The rest is what you think. Sometimes you have to have things that you just keep to your own self.
Yeah, perhaps you just keep your mouth shut. Wow.
No, it was interesting. He went on such a tirade that people got up and left. And Jimmy made a great point that I wasn't thinking this morning.
This is why I hate Los Angeles. The fact, I mean, I understood people objected. Here's how you object. That was a kind of a rough moment. You don't have to laugh at it.
Kind of a rough moment.
But you don't get up and leave, you dumb white people. I'm talking about the white people filing out of the club.
Yeah.
People go to comedy clubs to see something alive and in the moment. You have the guy from Seinfeld screaming the N-word. How much more alive can you get than that?
Coming apart at the seams.
He's unraveling.
Why wouldn't you want to watch that happen?
What do you want to do? You want to see another polite set? You're watching Kramer scream the N-bomb at a man in a balcony. How do you walk out on that?
You're watching him self-destruct right there in front of your eyes live.
You're watching the greatest comedy show ever. And you don't even know it.
A historic moment.
Dummies. Right. They walked out.
Yeah.
Harumph. I won't have this. Harumph.
But Jimmy, you made a pretty good point that you think some of these people were walking out because they were nervous that maybe the guys that were getting heckled might have some weapons in there or something.
A pistol in the car or come back with a gang. You know, believe me, that's the way white people think. They're going to come back and spray the entire club with bullets because of Michael Richards. I mean, you know.
Because why would you leave unless you were scared for your life?
That's the only reason. L.A. is so racially... You know, like, they're just so racially hypersensitive. I've performed there. I mean, anything that's remotely doesn't sound like it's 100% pro-race, 100% pro-gay, anything that's not 100% PC, they step back a bit and kind of give you like, oh, hey.
Hey, whoa.
They're terrible out there.
All right, let's continue here. I moved it back because you got to hear the woman in the audience. Oh, my God.
My God.
Oh, my God.
All right, you see? It shocks you. You see what's buried beneath your stupid mother. What was it called for? It's not called for you to hear on my ass, you cheat mother. You guys have been talking and talking and talking.
Oh, boy.
He just snapped.
He lost it.
And let me tell you how that feels, man, right? Because I like the fact he kept going. He didn't just back out. He was angry. But, man, you get that where all of a sudden you have that, like, invisible shield on stage. And then there comes a moment where all of a sudden you realize, I'm screaming. This is another human being who's, like, close enough to throw a bottle at my face.
There's really nothing in the way between us and them.
And then the crowd turns on you, and that's where his anger came from. You want to bite their faces. Like, didn't you see what this scumbag did to cause me to yell at him?
Yeah.
And now you turn on me. You want to just bite the audience.
Hey, how did the media get the tape?
Someone had it on a phone. It's probably from a cell phone. It's terrible quality.
It is terrible quality?
Probably from YouTube. I mean, thank God someone had that camera. It's great.
Yeah. Anything that happens in the world today will be captured on tape.
By the way,
in some way, shape, or form.
I plan on doing something like this, and not important. New Year's Eve at the Borgata. I have a whole thing planned, so bring your video cameras.
Okay. Very good.
Oh, it's going to be ugly and controversial.
All right, we got to take a break. Part 2 of Michael Richards going off at the Laugh Factory. We got that. By the way, it's a great commercial for XM today. Sorry, but it is, because we're going to play the same stuff over there, unedited, uncensored, uncensored. The FCC would allow us to play this, but for some reason CBS has a problem with the N-word, which is just completely ridiculous to us.
Especially under these circumstances where you know the intent of it, and you know why it's being used, and you know it's not coming from a place of anger or being gratuitous. Come on.
So XM gets a nice commercial today.
Yep.
Also, we got Paul Rodriguez weighing in. We got Sinbad weighing in.
Wow.
We got...
they went to relevantcomic.com.
No kidding. We got Kramer on Letterman. Anthony saw this last night. We got...
it's so uncomfortable.
We got Kramer. We got Michael Richards on Letterman.
Just call him
Kramer.
Just call him Kramer.
No one cares about his name. Michael, he's Kramer.
We got the audio of him apologizing on Letterman. Letterman got a great coup last night, man. Huge. He just happened to have Seinfeld on. And they got the old satellite hookup, and they got Kramer on as well.
Boy, do I love Seinfeld for that.
Jerry thought it would be a good idea for Kramer to come on and apologize via satellite.
Yeah.
And he looked like he was in one of those MTV Real World Confessionals. He's just kind of sitting there, and I'm trying to make sense of what he's saying, and he could not string together a cohesive thought. Yeah. It was just him babbling. He looked drugged out to me. I don't know. It might not have helped too much, and the audience was laughing.
Dude, simple as this. If you're Kramer and you did that and now you got all this controversy and you're going to go on TV for the first time to apologize.
Yeah.
If I was Kramer, I would make sure I was as effed up as possible so people would go, oh, look, the poor guy. Obviously,
the guy is in such a state.
Obviously, he's got something going on.
Right.
We got to let him off the hook a little bit here. Look, he doesn't seem quite right. You wouldn't go on Letterman completely like normal.
No. Especially since I had just
can't defend this.
I had just watched Seinfeld at 11.
Yeah.
And then Letterman came on at 11:30. They got to the whole thing a little after midnight. And, I just watched the goofy, fun Kramer character on Seinfeld. So you're kind of like, oh, I just want to remember the fun guy, not this guy he can't word the apology right. It's just really a wreck.
My favorite Kramer episode was the one where he was at the Laugh Factory. That's my favorite Kramer episode.
And we'll get into it a little more. Make sure you check out the YouTube version so we can get our views up. We're whores. We want lots of people to see that video. But the pictures are really good as well, Anthony, on opieandanthony.com. In the middle of the Kramer controversy, we got part 2 of his set. Actually, the set was probably a half hour or so, I would assume.
I don't know what he does there material-wise.
We only got where he went off and just got nuts. Here's the second segment. Yes, I was just waiting for it to queue up.
Wait a minute, where's he going? Oh, you're threatening me?
What's he was that?
Oh, it's a big threat. That's how you get back at the man.
That was real call for.
Wait a minute, he's not going, is he?
You're just not funny. That's why you reset. Never had no show, never had no movie. Seinfeld, that's it.
Oh, I guess you got me there. You're absolutely...
You know, when you say, I guess you got me there,
he got you.
He got you
there.
He got you.
He really was flustered, man. Not even. I mean, I understand jokes that were bombing, but he didn't even have anything that resembled a joke. He was just like, "Yeah, where are you going?"
You didn't do no movies or nothing. You just had the Seinfeld.
Right.
Maybe he
no movies or no other TV shows.
But
Kramer's been thinking that ever since Seinfeld went off the air. Like, oh my God.
Exactly. But I'd said it before. But it's sort of. It's not really that accurate, or it's not really that demeaning to Kramer. It's like Neil Armstrong. Hey, you just went to the moon once. You know, it's Seinfeld, for God's sake.
I disagree.
It's Michael Collins. You just circled the moon while Neil Armstrong.
Oh, okay. You still knew his name.
You honestly think that Kramer's sitting home going, whatever? He wants another hit so bad. He wants a movie. He wants something else.
Of course they do. Everybody but Jerry is content to just, Jerry's content to go back to stand-up comedy and just, tour around. He's got his family and everything like that. But the rest of them, they want to recapture at least a piece of that success they had with Seinfeld.
And they also want to prove that they were, they have what it takes on their own to make it.
Right. That was like it was a show that needed all the people that were in place.
Right. I think one more season.
Ensemble.
From what I understand, Seinfeld was offered this is just what I think, $5 million an episode, and they all would have got $1 million an episode. But Seinfeld said they want to do one more season. So I think they probably could have really, in that last season, made $1 million an episode. Which I don't know what. I'm sure they made a lot of money.
I'm sure they're making a lot of money as we speak.
I hope they had good residual deals.
Yeah, I'm sure they all did.
Yeah.
And Jerry, forget about it.
That guy's worth $1 million.
He doesn't have to do it. Could be a couple of more than that, Jim.
Perhaps more than that, Jim.
Never had no show, never had no movie. Seinfeld, that's it.
Oh, I guess you got me there. You're absolutely right. I'm just a wash-up. Got to stand on the stage. Oh, absolutely. That's it. We had it. Well, that's
That's not call for it. Oh, no, it ain't necessary.
Well, you interrupted me, pal. That's what happens when you interrupt a white man. He says, shut you down.
Interrupt a white man. Where is he? 1930?
That sounds to me like, man, the guy was probably being a dick as a heckler, but the guy seemed so incensed that the racial stuff got thrown out there. It seems like just from what I'm hearing, it sounds like Michael Richards just fired that out of it.
I would love to know what was said beforehand, because it is odd that he would just throw the racial stuff out. I don't know the guy from a hole in the wall. Could be the biggest racist ever on the face of the earth. Well, I don't know. But like what was said before that that spurred him to just go right to the racist stuff?
Because the guy seemed so incensed, and most black people, if they're firing racist stuff at you, you cracker this, you cracker that, white boy this, and you fire that back, I don't think they're going to be shocked to hear it if they're firing stuff
First
at you.
of all, you're the bravest white man ever. Because if they're calling me cracker and whitey, I'm in the wrong neighborhood and I'm running.
Well, yeah, you know,
I'm running for my life.
But you know what I'm saying? They kind of would expect some kind of a racial response.
Yeah.
If somebody was hitting you racially, they're not going to be shocked that you hit them back. And that guy seemed really, like, outraged that he had gone there. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, we're going to find out what happened at the club that night because we got Jamie, the owner of the Laugh Factory, at 7:30 this morning.
It is all over.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
I'm looking every TV I look at in this studio. They have the clip of him going off.
It's just a great, great story.
But I haven't seen
on so many levels.
I haven't seen any of the apology. There it is.
There it is.
Okay.
We got the audio from Letterman. We're gonna get into that in a second, but we got Sinbad audio.
And we also have Paul Rodriguez. And if there's two comedians, the first two I thought of actually, it's amazing they got them because I mean they're as busy as they've been lately. It's really good that they were able to get Sinbad and Paul Rodriguez. Luckily they were able to pin them down for a quick comment on the way.
The hard way.
Patrice O'Neill, what's up, buddy?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
There he is.
What up?
Patrice, I'm sure you've been up all night following this breaking story.
Right.
I ain't been up all night. I thought I was getting stalked this morning. I got to call him.
Hey, you know what? I got to tell you, man, CNN gets Sinbad and we get Patrice O'Neill.
Yep.
Well, they said, you know how Sinbad, Hammer Pants always has a good...
At least we got a black guy.
Well, Sinbad, don't say that.
Come on.
He's more white than black, Patrice. Come on.
The guy's got freckles.
Hey, look, man. First of all, about Cosmo, I'm old enough to follow him from Friday. He's one of these conceptual Andy Kaufman type dudes.
Yeah.
So when I saw the video, I thought at first, he was just doing some old weird, I only understand what I'm doing stuff. You know what I mean? I didn't think he was racist until he apologized.
So he got...
Until he's like, I'm sorry, because sometimes I have Tourette's racism and I didn't mean it and I just lose it. So I said, you idiot. Now, okay, and then you see he was on Letterman last night, which means last night he had 5 red dots on his forehead because Jerry sent out some hitmen because season 7 is coming out on DVD like in a couple of days.
Yep.
And he better hope all the guilty white people who's not going to buy season 7 is replaced by black people who think this is hilarious. It's funny to me.
You know what? You bring up a great point, though. His apology was so bad. It was one of the worst apologies I've ever seen for anything like this.
He was apologizing for being a racist.
Yeah, and then he said he wasn't a racist. But then he said he's got his own problems, and then he said Afro-Americans, like he used a term from 1975.
Was he eulogizing X? What's the matter with him?
Yeah, Afro-Americans.
All I'm going to do is picture him sliding through the door going, Jerry Coon.
Jerry, I want to apologize to the Negroes, Jerry. How do I do it? We'll get you on Letterman.
He's so stupid. I was watching it thinking, okay, first of all, that the dude... First, another thing, America makes me sick. White people make me sick because I don't need no apology. Like, that word has no... Cosmo Kramer using that word has no power at all.
Right.
I've been rolling if I was that dude up on the top. See, this is what makes me mad, though, on the black side, is that the camera didn't catch that jerk that made Kramer mad enough to go back to the 60s.
See, the comics are the ones that go, what was this ass saying?
Except for Sinbad, who says, you never get sexist or racist. That boat act.
And you never go all out against an audience member.
Yeah, Sinbad said that, Patrice. I don't know if you heard it. He goes,
I didn't hear the whole thing. I heard him at the end say the reprehensible word. And it is, but it was way more. It's like saying the C word right now and going, and then like you call a woman who's talking the C word in the audience, and she goes, "You harassed me, and I was so afraid for my life." Like, and maybe in 1930, if he said that, it would be horrifying because you could actually choke her and then the cop will shake your hand. But now, that's your power. So I'm not making an excuse for Cosmo because he said the word, but it has no power like it had for like Sinbad to announce as if we're still in the same position we was in the 60s.
Yeah.
I want white boys to be able to say what they feel like saying because I don't want to feel condescended, to where it's like, okay, Negro.
Bravo, Patrice.
We'll take care of you.
Well spoken.
You call me a Negro, and I want to call you everything I want to call you because I don't ever want to stop being able to call white people crackers and burners and destroyers of the earth. So you can have Negro.
Burners and destroyers.
Exactly. Stupid bunch of inventors.
You invented nothing.
You go to the moon, people.
The nerve of you creating medicine.
I'm sure.
Listen to me. Listen to me. If it wasn't for white people, medicine would still depend on the weather.
I just don't think, man. I didn't think he was a racist till he apologized.
The apology was worse than what he did.
Because he's a crazy type dude. If you ever watched that show Friday back in the day,
yeah,
he's out of his mind type of guy.
He did all that. It was a weird character he used to do, and then he would just do, like you said, this conceptual stuff. So, but I don't think that's what this was.
Nope. He became a regular. He really blew it, man, because his whole life has been set up to be this dude who wasn't attached. When I used to see him interviewed as a regular dude, he'd be like, and you go, all right, this dude's out of his mind. But last night on Seinfeld, who called and made him apologize, by the way? Somebody had a bullet to his, he was going to get killed last night if he didn't get on there.
Yeah, I think Jerry was going to be on Letterman anyway, right?
Yeah, and was on Letterman.
Yeah, and he decided, something, let me get this idiot out of trouble.
Wait, do we have the apology on tape?
Yeah, why don't we get into that?
You want that with Patrice online? So I would like to hear what his
no problem. Stay right there, Patrice. Here's Kramer on Letterman last night.
We have him live via satellite from Los Angeles. All right, this should be Michael Richards. Michael, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Hi, Michael. Welcome to the show.
Hello, hi.
How you doing?
I'm not doing too good.
Yeah. Why don't you explain exactly what happened for the folks who may not know?
I lost my temper on stage. I was at a comedy club trying to do my act, and I got heckled, and I took it badly and went into a rage, and said some pretty nasty things to some Afro-Americans. Trash.
This guy's a scream.
All I wanted was for him to bring me a mint julep.
A mint julep.
Afro-American julep.
Said some pretty nasty things to some colored people, Jerry.
And you see the audience,
colored people.
You see the audience laughing?
The audience is laughing.
They don't understand that Kramer is a character.
This is the slide through the door guy, Kramer guy.
They can't understand that this is actually Michael Richards. They think they're seeing Kramer still.
He's going to do something like they're laughing, waiting for him to do something weird.
Right.
Like, and then ring just went off, Jerry.
Right.
Like they're waiting for him to do that. So they're kind of nervously laughing, waiting.
Bunch of dopes in the audience. They don't realize he's
a different guy. He's not that guy that lives across from Jerry Seinfeld.
They can't separate the two.
Do you hear him, though? He sounds like one of those hostage videos, man.
Oh, yeah, and he looked like when he was squirming in his seat, he couldn't put a sentence together without a big gap, and he was almost crying. The audience is laughing at him. He's using terminology from the 50s.
Yeah. All right, let's get back into it here.
Nasty things to some Afro-Americans. A lot of trash talk. And stop laughing. It's not funny.
And Jerry had to jump in. Stop laughing. It's not funny.
Jerry, you should have led the applause break. That's hilarious that he just said that.
Stop laughing.
Hello, Kramer. Why did you call him a coon?
Kramer.
Coming out.
Stop laughing isn't funny. But it is funny, Jerry. It's a real moment. It's funny.
Stop laughing, because he knew this guy was really trying to apologize, but he couldn't.
But it was...
And Jerry's thinking season 7 money.
They could have diffused the situation by going with the laughs with the audience, going, you know...
This was so serious that he was trying to be so serious with this apology that laughter wasn't even a consideration. And the people, when he said Afro-American, I swear to you it looked like an SNL bit or something. Like, no one, it's like it was written for him. All right, instead of African-American, say Afro-American to show how out of touch you are. And then people laugh, and then Jerry jump in. And then Elaine will come out, and George will come out and talk about the Jews and the Asians, and then he couldn't apologize properly.
I didn't even see Jerry's reaction to all that. I know he hit his head as soon as he messed up as he was reading that apology and said Afro-American. I know Jerry wanted to say, cut, you idiot. And another thing, how does Kramer, who hasn't been on TV since '86 when they use Afro-American, get on Letterman last night during Jerry's time? Jerry said, Dave, look, call this dude on the phone.
Yeah.
In fact, Jerry said, Dave, call this nigga up. So I can smack him with his stupid face. What's the matter with him? He's so uncomfortable. Let me tell you, man, this dude's so crazy that someone the only way you can really find out what happened is if you just give somebody a tape recorder just off camera, off everything, and really try to talk to them. What were you thinking? I don't really want to write him off as a racist yet because I know how crazy he is. He's Kramer.
He should have spoken through his lawyer, Jackie Childs.
Yeah.
They should have brought Jackie Childs from the show in as his lawyer. And first show Cosmo and apologize. And then the camera pulls back and his lawyer, Jackie Childs, is right next to him. Hysterical. People love Seinfeld. They'd have forgiven him in a second.
Absolutely.
Cosmo, what you say, boy?
Yeah. What you saying, Cosmo? I think we get money out of this.
All right, let's get back to this. Michael Richards on Letterman last night.
And what was you were actually being heckled, or were they just talking and disturbing the act?
That was going on, too.
What a fast thinker.
And did you?
I know. I mean, hearing your audience laugh, and it's. I'm not even sure that this is where I should be addressing the situation. I've already heard you make some jokes about it, and that's okay, But I'm.
Jerry was trying.
I'm really busted up over this.
Oh, shut your mouth. Guys beginning to really have you groveling idiots. Shut up.
Oh, the groveling isn't even near over, my friend.
Now Letterman's bad for making fun of it. They're mad for laughing because you couldn't handle a situation. Shut your mouth.
But I couldn't understand. This takes me back to the Mel Gibson. I'm sitting there like, how much money do you have to be able to be an anti-Semite? Like, why can't you just go ahead and look, I don't like the Jews and you start wars. Let me go. I am,
I got enough money.
Yeah, like, what is these apologies is what makes you seem like, I'm sorry. You know what you should say? I'm sorry. I usually do a better job at hindering my disgust for other races, but I blew it last night under pressure.
Yeah.
Talk about that, man. But that's the worst thing you can say. He should say I was playing, and then keep it moving.
No, he was just, I apologize. It's like he mowed down a schoolyard full of kids in a car.
I don't want that little pussy apology. Excuse me. I don't want that. That apology means nothing to anybody black. It's like, shut up, you racist. Matter of fact, white people go, figures. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Kramer's a racist.
All right, let's get back into this.
I didn't like the way he was, he's like being mad at Letterman for making fun. What is Letterman supposed to do? Not address it, you jackass?
Yeah. A couple of jokes were made, Jerry.
I mean, that's okay. I mean, since I couldn't do it, you might as well.
I'm really busted up over this, and I'm very, very sorry to those people in the audience, the blacks, the Hispanics, the whites, everyone that was there that took the brunt of that anger and hate and rage and how it came through. And
wasn't the whites or the Hispanics?
I'm concerned about more hate and more rage and more anger coming through not just towards me, but towards a black-white conflict.
Oh, now he represents all of white people
in this country and how blacks feel about
he
what happened.
actually started coming off like he represents white people and doesn't want this to ruin the relationships between blacks and whites. The great relationship that's going on between blacks and white people.
Who does he think he is, Rodney King or the Ocean? What's the matter with this?
Jerry, can't we all just get along,
You're
Jerry?
a mediocre comic who got a break. Shut up. That's what you are.
I want to hear an apology from Paul Reiser for calling Carlos Mencia a spig. Did you guys see that one?
No, did he?
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah. I'd love to see Reginald Denny hit him with a brick.
I want to see all the YouTubes of every racial outburst of every sitcom star from the mid-'90s.
Yeah.
I got a theory, by the way.
There you go.
I think Kramer was just trying to make a YouTube video. Everybody wants to make a YouTube video, and I think he's like, you know what?
Did a great job.
I got an idea. Watch the hits today on this freaking thing.
Oh, yeah.
Watch the views on this video from the Laugh Factory.
Gregory, by the way.
Right.
If you don't plug Black Phillip for, the 25th, I'm going to call you a racist.
You're doing your Saturday show, your show this Saturday?
Yes, this Saturday on XM.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Patrice, what?
Saturday night from what, 9 to midnight, Patrice?
Just tell him.
I believe. I don't know the exact time. I think it's 9 to midnight this Saturday.
Who's
Patrice
your
O'Neill on
co-host?
XM.
Cosmo.
Patrice, who's co-hosting? Where'd he go?
Patrice?
What, did he hang up?
He's gone.
Oh, did he hang up? Or
We're not even done with this. All right,
Oh.
here's the...
Goddamn.
I know. I like to scream at you in a balcony.
Probably didn't pay his phone bill.
Damn lazy.
A black-white conflict. There's a great deal of disturbance in this country and how blacks feel about what happened in Katrina. And
What? Katrina?
Yeah, that... What?
You're unraveling.
He came apart at the seams.
And we would pillage and rape their women. And that's why there are mulattoes. Get a hold of yourself.
The Amistad, Jerry. The Amistad.
It's calculated. And then the aliens came down.
They were bred to run faster.
Talk to me.
The slave owner, Jerry, would breed the bigger black guy with the woman and make the better athlete.
I think he knows exactly what he's saying. He's like, I gotta look as crazy as possible on Letterman.
Apologizing for everything.
Katrina.
The Emancipation Proclamation.
My cats were talking to me. They told me to get on that stage.
Newman put me up to it, Jerry. It was Newman.
And many of the comics, many performers are in Las Vegas and New Orleans trying to raise money for what happened there. And for this to happen, for me to be in a comedy club and flip out and say this crap, I'm deeply, deeply sorry.
Oh, how much more sorry?
God, did he annoy me with that?
Wow.
How about just like, look, man, I got really angry. I screwed up. I apologize. It was rather tasteless and stupid. It's not the way I feel.
But, I was trying to handle it.
Genuine.
Trying to handle it in a certain way where it was going to be irreverent and a little, a commentary on words, and it really came out the wrong way and looked bad. And, sorry about that, but it happens. You're flying by the seat of your pants up there, and you get aggravated, and, yeah.
All right, well, we got more of the apologies
I
from
just
Letterman.
apologized for him.
Emmett Till, Medgar Rivers. Not Dr. King. We didn't.
Martin Luther King, Jerry, on the balcony. I don't know what to do about that, but I apologize.
Really bugs me.
Just addresses Jerry for everything.
Right. We have more of the apologies. All right, we're back with the Opie and Anthony show. We got Patrice O'Neill back on the line here. This Kramer thing is just taking over the show today.
It's a huge story. Did you hang up on us?
Oh, hold on a minute.
I tried to get y'all before.
Would you hang up on us?
Yeah, what happened?
I tried to hang up on y'all before you said people say you gotta go.
We weren't even close to that.
Hey, but listen.
No, your phone card ran out.
And here's the thing. I heard all three of you immediately. This is why I'm. Thank you for letting everyone. Every white person is racist. This is why it's a good thing that Cosmo Kramer, because the first thing Opie goes is, he's lazy. And then Anthony goes, his phone probably got cut off. And then Norton goes, I like to talk to him on a balcony. So
That's right.
Oh, my God.
Shut up, Norton. So the Cosmo, here's what makes me sick about white people, right? Black people are the only people. Now look what Mel Gibson, as soon as Jews, they muscled up Braveheart and The Godfather when they thought for a second that they were saying some anti-Semitic stuff. No one but white people are the only people that are in charge of black people's upsetness about the word, the N-word. Now you got black people saying the N-word. We are comfortable saying the word nigger. We're comfortable with it. We live with it. It doesn't mean anything to us anymore. And some people take that as some type of, oh my God, this is horrifying. But some people like me go, white boy, say what you want to say, man. I'm better than you and better than your stupid words. But white people, racism is a war between soft white people and racist white people.
Yes, white guilt. Mm-hmm. Norton taught me about white guilt over the years.
That's right. How we shouldn't have it. We have to keep fighting because they're getting. Oh. That's not what I meant.
Hey, can we go back to the Kramer audio from Letterman?
Patrice just said something that made me, I forget what I was going to ask you, Patrice.
Yeah.
You raised a good point.
All right, let's get back to the audio. It'll come to you, Jimmy. Kramer on Letterman last night. We're almost done here.
Michael, let me interrupt here for a second and ask a question about had the people doing the heckling or the people who were not paying attention, had they been white or Caucasian or any other race, what would have been the nature of your response then?
It may have happened. I'm a performer. I push the envelope. I work in a very uncontrolled manner on stage. I do a lot of free association and spontaneous. I go into character. I don't know, in view of the situation and the act going where it was going, I don't know. The rage did go all over the place. It went to everybody in the room. But you can't, I don't.
Everyone in the room.
Blacks could feel I'm not a racist. That's what's so insane about this.
Oh,
and yet it's said. It comes through. It fires out of me, and even now in the passion and that's here as I
he's just lost it.
Confront myself.
It would have been funny if he apologized if he came on and goes, Dave, you know how they are in clubs. They talk all the time and they heckle and they don't tip and their orders are hard to follow. And I'm trying to do my bit and they won't shut up.
He should apologize as Kramer.
Yeah, that's what people wanted.
That would have been fun.
They wanted Kramer.
The thing is this, white people are stereotyped all the time. It's not just black. How do you think it feels like whenever there's sunshine or good things happening or joy, people go, must be a white man around. How do you think we feel having to deal with that? Whenever there's a smile on a child's face,
that's a lot of
white
pressure.
Man responsible for this?
A lot of pressure to live up to.
The worst apology ever given for anything.
Here's the final clip, and Seinfeld finally gets involved a little bit.
When you say I'm not a racist, too, when you have to, blurt that out,
that's a little rough.
You probably are.
Who cares if Cosmo's a racist?
Agreed. Who cares? Exactly.
Yeah, no one gives a crap in the end. He's just trying to, save his reputation so he gets some more projects.
It's like no one is surprised except for white people who live in their goofy little lie that none of you are racist. All of you are.
Hold on, but you are too, Patrice.
I thank God.
All right.
I have finally made it where I want to be called a racist. That makes me feel like it's all equal.
I believe everyone's a bit racist and everyone's a bit hypocritical.
I'm not a racist. I just find blacks to be less enjoyable than my white friends.
Yeah, and people get confused. They don't think black people could be racist.
No.
I pray that one day we can really be, because I'm ready to.
You're ready to go?
I'm ready to be forefront, baby.
I think once it's all accepted, we'll get along like never before.
The first thing I'm going to do is hang all three of you up upside down and beat the bottom of your feet with something hard.
Wow.
I know, our perfect pink feet.
Hey, I've been writing it down. I'm ready.
All right. Yeah, Patrice has a list he's got to get to.
I'm ready, baby.
And he doesn't even want to do that to hurt us. It's just a sexual thing for him. Maybe you can hang us on a swing in your bedroom, creep.
My fault. I didn't finish, and also I want to tickle you.
All right, let's get into the last clip here. Seinfeld getting involved near the end.
And having apologized, is there much more you can do, much more you would like to do?
You should have done a
I just
plug.
have to do personal work.
Oh, please say he's going to go to Africa and adopt a kid.
Just sitting there.
Please say it.
He's just sitting there in silence.
Right.
I think I got to work on myself.
This is what you're going to... rehab. I'm going into rehab. Clear. Takes care of everything, though.
But has he ever held a conversation before? What are you going to do now? The vacuum?
He could have got out of that because he could lie about the context of the video. He could say we was all doing eyes or something. It was a half of a tape that he qualified by saying that he did what they're saying he did. He should have said, look, man, I didn't lose it. You know how I am. I'm nutty. That's why I am Kramer. That's how I got the part. I'm out of my mind. And that didn't mean it like that. He could have got away with it, but this dummy, and that's another thing, let me explain something to you, that Sinbad and Michael Richards, and I'm not saying Sinbad is not black, but I'm saying that these are the two most irrelevant racial guys you will ever see. Neither one of them have ever talked about race in their life in public. Now they're in charge of this situation. And Dave Letterman, and none of these guys, Jerry Seinfeld, none of these guys talk about race, and they putting pressure on Kramer for what? To give money to some black cause, to the NWA? Come on, man. Who gives Cosmo is a racist, and now what? Page 2. What's next?
Yeah. All right, here we go.
I'm still reeling from this. It's just been a few days. I don't know yet.
Jerry, is there anything you want to say to Michael here?
I know Michael many years, and I know how he works on stage, and none of that justifies what happened. But I've been talking to him today, and he's someone that I love, and I know how shattered he is about this, and he deserves a chance. That's why I wanted him to come on. He deserves a chance to apologize, and that's all he wanted. And thank you for letting him.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you very much, Michael. I appreciate it. I know it's difficult, and I certainly hope you don't have regrets about being on this show this evening. Thank you. All right, take care.
And then he just kind of sat there looking stupid.
He is a dud as a human. I will say this, though. I respect Seinfeld for bringing him on, because I think that was partial season 7, but partial since
What's
the
Seinfeld got to lose in that situation?
And Letterman handled it well.
Looks like a peacemaker.
Yeah.
You know? And Letterman ate that up. You kidding? Do you think when Seinfeld walks up to Letterman and goes, "Hey, I'm thinking about, maybe we get Michael onto the show." Yeah.
Not only do you get Jerry Seinfeld, who rarely goes on TV these days, you get Michael Richards.
You get the biggest story in the news, entertainment-wise, and you're going to have both of the guys on? Yeah. Hell yeah, you say yes.
That's just like us going on Leno.
And they're And they're going to put Sinbad on stage without a shirt and let Michael Richards yell at him. Give him a good scolding.
Hey, Anthony, I didn't hear what you thought. Did you think he was racist?
My whole take on it? Oh, yeah, there's some racism bubbling under the surface there, and it just popped right out of his face. But
well, we were discussing this earlier, Patrice. We said, when you get into a confrontation, you really want to go after someone, you go right for the jugular, right for the atom bomb.
Right. He doesn't know the guy. Maybe if he knew that guy and knew that perhaps he was let's say he's a deadbeat dad. He could have called him a deadbeat dad if he knew.
He did. Wait a minute, though. A friend, a comic who was on the show that night gave me a call, and I hadn't even heard about it. He's the one who told me about it, and he said that the same dudes were in the audience the day before messing up the show.
Oh, that's kind of like their gig?
Like, these guys were well hated.
Serial hecklers.
Michael
That's great.
Could have been been like trying to be the hero to every comic who had to deal with these dudes. And the dude made me mad on the tape when he goes, "That is uncalled for. That was unnecessary, man."
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, let him do what he got to do. And the saddest thing is Michael Richards didn't get off stage until somebody called him a used-up has-been who can't get on movies and who can't get TV work.
Yep.
And that might be really the crux of it, is that poor Kramer can't get a job.
Yeah.
And he's just mad at everybody, dude.
And now he's got to go on the apology tour to have any shot with Hollywood.
He's like, what did Fred Mertz do after I Love Lucy? He is the Fred Mertz of our time.
He called Louis Armstrong a coon in the middle of a cigarette commercial on what's his name, on the Milton Berle show.
Yeah, I want to tell everybody to smoke Lucky Strikes, and I'm sorry about what I said.
During a Lucky Strike commercial.
Hey, he had to go on talk shows and smoke cools to prove that he didn't mean it.
You know, me and Desi used to hang out, and
yeah, he's a PR.
Yeah. He's one of the swarthy mud people. I think, light up a Lucky and share it with a black man, but just don't let him end-lip it.
Oh, my God, man. It's just, look, man, it's news because I guess it needs to be, but if you ask black folks, man, first of all, half of them will go, who's Kramer? Because barely anybody black watches Seinfeld.
No, black people don't like Seinfeld.
We're not Seinfeld. Not black people who would get emotional enough to care. Like,
yeah.
It's like, I can't think of a white show where if they came out that somebody was racist on it, that we would all go, oh my God, this changes everything we ever thought. Kramer's not beloved in the black community. It's like, you watch it. I mean, thank God, I never watched it up until syndication. And for syndication, I got a chance to watch it. But when it was out, and he's not beloved. He's beloved to white people who could get to escape the fact that they are racist. And that, what is it going to take now for people to know that it's out there floating around? At least y'all talk about it as fun, as you do your thing. I mean, Anthony's really racist, but at least it's fun to deal with the fact that you are racist. I can have an actual argument with you or Norton.
It's fun.
Or Opie. It's like I can argue. I can't argue with these white people who are now saddened at Kramer. What's it going to take for there'll be a blooper or something? One of the Scooby-Doo characters say it by mistake or something.
That would be...
We're all real people. I thought Casey Kasem made us understand that these phony balonies are real.
Yeah. Hey, you got something, Jim?
Yeah, here's what I wanted to ask you. Why do black people not like me when they're in the audience?
Say that again?
Why do black people not like me? I see. You know the look I mean, too.
And you look like somebody we shouldn't like.
That's exactly what it is. He's right.
You are, first of all, you're bald and you're just white. and you know what it is? You look like somebody that we all should be robbing.
But no, it is
and another thing that bugs me about you is every time somebody goes, uh-oh, Norton's getting mad, watch out, I go, you can just put Norton inside of a wallet. Means nothing. So it's like, but black people look at you like you represent things like, okay, you represent Norton to me, and not to me, but I'll tell you what you represent to black folks. You represent, and this is why I love white people being racist, because I like to be mental, because I'm a big black guy, so here's what I've been dealing with. It's like a white boy that looks like Norton when I was younger would call me that word and then run as I'm chasing him with my hand around his throat, and then I go, wait, he called me this word, and then it doesn't matter. I get suspended from school, I get arrested, I get whatever. So I had to learn how to deal with that. Norton represents, like, why black people look at Norton and go, ugh, is Norton represents somebody who they want to smack in the face but has this attitude that he can't be touched. I.e., like Kenny. Like, somebody might go, boy, you lucky that big dude ain't with you, man. I like to pop you upside your little white head. But that's what you represent to...
Just from looking at him on the stage?
Yeah, well, because I knew part of it was the way I present myself on stage. Black people with white performers or white comedians, they like it goofy, they like it silly, They don't like you to have an attitude about race, and then
or an attitude in general. Probably
they don't like it. They don't like an aggressive attitude.
Yeah.
They like an apologetic or silly attitude. They don't like an aggressive attitude.
They deal with empowered white people
and I even said
all the time. They don't want to do it at a comedy club.
Call Billy Burr and ask him about what it feels like, because Billy does a lot of black rooms.
Yes.
Man. He knows, but Billy gets love, and Voss gets love.
Right.
So
I don't talk about the black community the way Billy and Voss do. I don't talk about it I don't knock it either.
The big story of the day, of course, is Kramer at the Laugh Factory out there in L.A. Everyone's talking about it today.
Everyone.
And we can finally play it uncensored over here.
Yeah.
On XM satellite radio.
People very sensitive about language.
Yeah, the first half of the show, they don't allow us to say the N-word, which is so ridiculous.
Yeah. And in the context of a news story like this, it really puts a little more detail into the story. It makes it a little more understandable than having to speak like you're in the third grade, using statements like the N-word was used.
Well, here it is.
Come on.
In case you missed it, here's Kramer on stage at the Laugh Factory in L.A., and he's just going off. Here it is uncensored.
Shut up! 50 years ago, you had you upside down with a fucking fork up your ass! You can talk your brain now, motherfucker! Roll his ass out, he's a nigger! He's a nigger!
Oh my God.
A nigger, Luke is a nigger! All right, you see? It shocks you to see what's buried beneath your stupid motherfuckers. What was it called for? It's not called for you to hear on my ass, you cheap motherfucker! You guys have been talking and talking and talking.
So what?
The curses were
the
bleeped
beeping
out.
was not us. That was on YouTube. It was like that. So for whatever reason, they beeped on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
The curses were bleeped out. Yeah.
All right. And then here's part two.
Wait a minute, where's he going? Oh, you're threatening me?
What's he was up?
Oh, it's a big threat. That's how you get back at the man.
That was real called for.
Wait a minute, he's not going, is he?
You're just not funny. That's why you reset. Never had no show, never had no movie. Seinfeld, that's it.
Oh, I guess you got me there. You're absolutely right. I'm just a wash-up. Gotta stand on the stage. Oh, absolutely. That's it. We had it. We had it. Well, you know, right there, that is.
That's not called for. Oh, no, that ain't necessary.
Well, you interrupted me, pal. That's what happens when you interrupt the right man. He's gonna chuck you down.
That was uncalled for.
And there you have it.
Wow.
And we have